Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose so clear that no setback could sway you, no chaos could distract you, and you remain focused on what truly matters. Picture living in a state of inner calm, where challenges and adversities only serve to sharpen your resolve. This is not some fantastical vision. It was the daily reality of one of the most powerful men in history, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor of Rome. His reflections, written centuries ago in his Meditations, offer timeless wisdom on how to cultivate the art of self-discipline in a world full of distractions, temptations, and unpredictability. In today's world, where instant gratification and endless choices dominate our lives, self-discipline may seem like an elusive goal. But by turning to Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation, we can find practical tools for regaining control of our actions, emotions, and thoughts. Today, we'll dive deep into 10 Stoic principles that will help you build an unshakable foundation of self-discipline. These are not abstract ideas, but actionable steps that you can implement in your life to find focus, purpose, and inner peace. Let's explore these principles together and see how, like Marcus Aurelius, you too can navigate life's challenges with resilience and clarity. If you're ready to transform the way you approach self-discipline, stay with us to the end as we uncover profound insights that will empower you to live with more intention and mastery over your life. 1. Voluntary discomfort, strengthening through hardship. Why should anyone seek discomfort when comfort is so readily available? It's a question worth considering. In Stoicism, the practice of voluntary discomfort is not about punishing yourself, but preparing yourself for the inevitable hardships life will throw your way. Marcus Aurelius, like other Stoic philosophers, believed that exposing yourself to discomfort strengthens the mind and body, making them resilient against future challenges. This principle teaches us that by stepping into discomfort voluntarily, we can fortify ourselves mentally and physically, becoming unshaken when life forces discomfort upon us. Think about the small comforts we indulge in daily. How often do we take these luxuries for granted? From the warmth of a heated room to the convenience of fast food, modern life is designed to keep us in a state of ease. But what happens when that ease is disrupted? What happens when adversity strikes, when things don't go according to plan? If we've conditioned ourselves to depend on comfort, even the slightest challenge can feel overwhelming. By practicing voluntary discomfort, you train yourself to face adversity with a composed mind. This might mean fasting for a day to appreciate food more deeply, enduring physical challenges like cold showers to strengthen your willpower, or refraining from unnecessary indulgences to cultivate gratitude. When was the last time you willingly chose a more difficult path to grow stronger? Can you see how avoiding discomfort in the short term might actually weaken your ability to handle life's inevitable struggles? Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life's difficulties are not to be feared, but embraced. In Meditations, he reflected on how nature itself operates through cycles of growth and decay, comfort and discomfort. We, as part of that natural world, are no different. The Stoic way is not to shy away from pain, but to see it as an opportunity to practice virtue. Do you view your challenges this way? Start small. Choose one act of voluntary discomfort each week. It could be skipping a meal, choosing to walk instead of drive, or setting aside time to reflect in silence without the distractions of technology. As you begin to integrate these practices, you will notice a shift in your mental resilience. The discomforts that once seemed unbearable will start to feel manageable, even welcome, as opportunities for growth. This principle of voluntary discomfort connects us to a deeper Stoic truth. Growth often lies just beyond the edges of comfort. Each time you push those boundaries, you become more disciplined, more prepared, and more attuned to the virtues that Stoicism holds dear. Now that we've seen how embracing discomfort can strengthen us, let's explore the next principle: the importance of showing up every day, no matter what obstacles stand in our way. 2. Persistence and showing up. The quiet power of consistency. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to feel inspired one day and completely unmotivated the next? In Stoicism, the idea of showing up, of simply being present every single day, is fundamental to building self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about the importance of persistence, of continuing forward with your duties even when you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. Stoic discipline is not about grand gestures or bursts of brilliance, but about the quiet power of consistency. What does it mean to show up every day? It's not about monumental achievements or working yourself to exhaustion. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about taking small steps forward, recognizing that true progress is built over time, not in a single day. Marcus Aurelius would often ask himself, "What is the task at hand today?" and commit to doing it, regardless of whether he felt enthusiastic or not. In modern life, distractions are endless, and the temptation to procrastinate is ever present. How often have you put off something important, waiting for the perfect moment of inspiration or energy? Stoicism teaches us that waiting for ideal conditions is a trap. The only thing you can control is your effort today, in this moment. Are you showing up for your responsibilities, for your goals, for the people who depend on you? Even the smallest efforts, made consistently, can lead to profound changes over time. The Stoics knew this, which is why they placed such emphasis on the discipline of daily practice. Whether it's in your career, your health, or your relationships, the simple act of showing up consistently, of doing the work day after day, will lead to lasting results. So how can you practice this principle in your life? Start by identifying one area where you've struggled with consistency. It could be exercising regularly, working on a personal project, or dedicating time to a relationship. Commit to showing up every day, even if your effort feels small. Over time, this habit will become second nature, and you'll realize that the key to success isn't about how much you do in a single day, but how often you return to the task at hand. In the next section, we'll explore another critical Stoic principle: the art of ignoring naysayers and focusing on what truly matters. 3. Ignoring naysayers, mastering inner independence. In a world filled with opinions and criticism, how do we maintain focus on what truly matters? For Stoics, the answer lies in mastering inner independence. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how external voices, the judgments, doubts, and criticisms of others, are beyond our control. Yet many of us find ourselves swayed by these external pressures, losing sight of our values and goals. Have you ever paused to think about how much of your day is shaped by the opinions of others? Whether it's a comment from a colleague, a glance from a stranger, or a critique from a loved one, these moments can easily throw us off course. Stoicism, however, teaches us to reclaim our power by focusing solely on what is within our control: our thoughts, actions, and judgments. Ask yourself, who are you allowing to shape your life? Are these people aligned with your values, or are they distractions pulling you away from your purpose? Stoicism doesn't dismiss the importance of feedback, but it teaches us to distinguish between constructive criticism and baseless negativity. Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized the importance of filtering out the noise that does not serve us. By learning to silence the naysayers, whether they are external or internal voices of self-doubt, we can cultivate a stronger sense of inner peace and focus. Consider this: what would your life look like if you stopped letting others' opinions dictate your choices? How much more energy could you devote to your true priorities if you weren't worried about what others might think? Ignoring naysayers is not about arrogance, but about a quiet confidence in your values and purpose. Now, As we reflect on this principle of independence, let's continue by exploring how Stoics use the practice of emulation to cultivate discipline and growth. 4. Emulating virtuous individuals, learning from the wise. Who do you look up to? Whose life provides a model for the virtues you wish to cultivate? In Stoicism, the practice of emulating virtuous individuals is a key principle for building self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius himself spent much of his meditations reflecting on the qualities of others, both past and present, who exemplified Stoic virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice. Stoics understood that while wisdom is an abstract concept, it can be made concrete through the actions of those who embody it. Marcus Aurelius studied the lives of great philosophers, warriors, and leaders to refine his own character. By observing their choices, decisions, and responses to adversity, he gained valuable insights into how he could navigate his own life with greater discipline and virtue. So, who are your role models, and why? Is it their persistence, their integrity, or their calm under pressure that draws you to them? Stoicism encourages us to choose our role models wisely, people whose actions align with the values we aspire to develop. Once identified, the next step is to reflect on their behavior and ask, how can I incorporate their strengths into my own life? This is not about imitation, but about learning. For instance, if you admire someone for their ability to remain calm under pressure, consider how they cultivate that calmness. What habits do they have? What mindset do they practice? How do they approach challenges? As you reflect on these questions, you begin to internalize their strengths, applying them to your own life in a way that fits your circumstances. By practicing emulation, you bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical action. You transform abstract virtues into concrete, daily behaviors that guide your decisions and actions. Through this process, your self-discipline grows stronger, rooted in the examples of those who have already mastered the path you wish to walk. Now that we've seen the power of learning from the wise, let's move on to a fundamental Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. 5. The dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can change. What is within your control, and what is not? This simple question forms the foundation of one of Stoicism's most transformative principles, the dichotomy of control. In essence, Stoicism teaches that the key to inner peace lies in focusing your energy only on what you can directly influence, your own actions, reactions, and judgments, while accepting everything else as outside your control. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on this truth, reminding himself that while we may strive to achieve certain outcomes, we cannot control all the factors that contribute to those outcomes. We cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or global events. What we can control, however, is how we choose to respond to these external events. How often do you stress about things beyond your control? Whether it's worrying about someone's opinion of you or agonizing over future uncertainties, Stoicism teaches us that such concerns are not only futile, but detrimental to our peace of mind. When we focus on what lies within our power, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety. We become more effective and resilient in navigating life's challenges. The dichotomy of control invites you to shift your perspective. Instead of being reactive to external events, ask yourself, what part of this situation is within my control? By honing in on your own responses, how you think, how you act, you reclaim your power. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You become the master of your own mind. Practicing this principle requires mindfulness and patience. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life's uncontrollable elements. But each time you pause and remind yourself of what is truly within your control, you build resilience. You cultivate a sense of calm, knowing that while you cannot dictate what happens to you, you can always dictate how you respond. If you're finding these insights helpful, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How do you handle situations outside of your control? Let's engage in a conversation on how we can all apply Stoicism to our lives. Now, with this newfound sense of control, let's explore the next principle, the power of daily reflection. 6. Daily reflection, the path to self-improvement. How often do you take the time to reflect on your day? In Stoicism, the practice of daily reflection is a cornerstone of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius regularly reviewed his actions and thoughts, asking himself whether he had lived in accordance with his values. This simple but profound habit allows you to assess your progress, recognize your strengths, and identify areas for improvement. Daily reflection isn't about dwelling on mistakes or being overly critical of yourself. It's about observing your actions with honesty and compassion, learning from them, and adjusting your course where necessary. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to move from one day to the next without ever pausing to evaluate whether we're truly living in alignment with our deeper goals and virtues. Ask yourself, how did I respond to challenges today? Did I act according to my principles? Were there moments where I lost control? And if so, why? By reflecting on these questions each evening, you develop greater self-awareness. You become more deliberate in your actions and more attuned to the habits that either serve or hinder your growth. Over time, this practice helps to cultivate a more disciplined life. You become less reactive and more proactive in your responses to life's challenges. Instead of letting the day's events dictate your mood, you gain insight into how your thoughts and behaviors shape your experiences. How might your life change if you made daily reflection a habit? Would you approach your tasks with more intention? Would your relationships improve if you regularly assessed how you treated others? The Stoics believed that through reflection, we become both the student and the teacher in our own lives. We learn from our experiences and grow in wisdom. Now that we've explored the benefits of reflection, let's delve into another essential Stoic practice, relying on yourself and building self-reliance. 7. Self-reliance, trusting in your own strength. In a world where we are constantly connected, it can be easy to rely on others for validation, direction, or even motivation. But Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from self-reliance. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of personal accountability, of taking responsibility for one's actions and growth. While we may seek help from others, we must ultimately learn to trust in our own abilities. Self-reliance doesn't mean isolation or rejecting support from those around us. Instead, it's about recognizing that the ultimate responsibility for our lives rests with us. How often do you count on others to give you the answers or make decisions for you? Stoicism encourages us to cultivate inner strength, to trust our judgment, and to build our lives based on our own values and principles. As you move through your day, ask yourself, am I relying too much on external sources for my sense of purpose or direction? How can I take more ownership of my choices and actions? By practicing self-reliance, you develop confidence not through arrogance, but through competence. You learn to trust in your own capacities to navigate life's challenges, knowing that your internal guidance, grounded in reason and virtue, is your most reliable compass. Each small step you take towards self-reliance builds discipline. Whether it's making a decision without needing others' approval or pushing through a difficult task on your own, these moments of independence strengthen your resolve. Over time, you become more resilient, more grounded in your principles, and less susceptible to external pressures. Next, let's explore the power of delayed gratification and how this Stoic practice can help you master your desires. 8. Delayed gratification, mastering your desires. In a world that encourages instant gratification, Stoicism offers a powerful antidote, the practice of delayed gratification. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers believed that true freedom comes from mastering one's desires. Instead of being enslaved to fleeting pleasures, Stoicism teaches us to postpone immediate gratification in pursuit of long-term well-being. What is your relationship with pleasure? Do you find yourself giving in to impulses that offer short-term satisfaction but undermine your long-term goals? Whether it's spending money impulsively, choosing unhealthy foods, or avoiding difficult tasks, these moments of indulgence can derail your discipline. But by practicing delayed gratification, you reclaim control over your desires. Consider this. What if, instead of reaching for that quick reward, you paused and asked yourself, is this aligned with my long-term goals? Stoicism encourages us to weigh our actions carefully, to prioritize reason over impulse. This practice isn't about denying pleasure altogether, but about choosing pleasure that is meaningful and sustainable. Marcus Aurelius wrote about how fleeting and trivial most pleasures are. When we chase them, we often find that they don't provide lasting fulfillment. In contrast, the satisfaction that comes from working toward a meaningful goal, from exercising restraint and discipline, is far more rewarding. To practice delayed gratification, start with small steps. The next time you're tempted to give in to a short-term desire, pause. Reflect on whether this choice will contribute to your long-term well-being. Over time, this habit will strengthen your willpower and deepen your sense of self-discipline. Let's move forward to our next principle, the importance of finding purpose in all that we do. 9. Finding purpose. Aligning your actions with your deeper calling. What drives you at your core? What is the purpose that pushes you out of bed every morning, ready to face the challenges of the day? In Stoicism, finding your purpose is not just a lofty ideal, it is the foundation upon which self-discipline is built. For Marcus Aurelius, living in agreement with nature meant understanding one's role in the larger scheme of things and acting in harmony with that deeper purpose. But how do we find our purpose in a world filled with distractions, temptations, and endless choices? The Stoics believed that purpose is not necessarily about grandiose achievements or external accolades. Instead, it is about aligning your daily actions with your values and virtues. Purpose is the compass that guides every decision, from the mundane to the monumental. Have you ever paused to ask yourself what truly matters to you? What gives your life meaning? Stoicism teaches us to peel back the layers of superficial desires and fleeting emotions to reveal what is essential for our growth and well-being. This process of self-examination is crucial in uncovering our true purpose. Marcus Aurelius constantly asked himself, "Am I living according to my purpose? Am I doing the work that I was meant to do today?" When we identify our purpose, we gain clarity and focus. Our daily actions become more intentional, and we are less likely to be swayed by temptations or distractions. For the Stoics, this clarity of purpose was not only about personal fulfillment, but also about contributing to the greater good. The Stoic idea of eudaimonia, living a life of flourishing, hinges on living in harmony with one's purpose and virtues. In your own life, take a moment to reflect on what you are naturally drawn to. What activities give you deep satisfaction? What challenges are you motivated to solve? These are clues to your purpose. Once identified, the Stoic practice of daily reflection becomes invaluable in keeping you aligned with your purpose. By asking yourself each morning, "What am I meant to do today?" And each evening, "Did I live true to my purpose?" You cultivate the self-discipline necessary to live a meaningful and impactful life. With purpose guiding your actions, self-discipline becomes less about forcing yourself to act and more about fulfilling your deeper calling. Now that we have explored the importance of purpose, let's move on to our final Stoic principle, The art of mastering emotional responses. 10. Mastering emotional responses. Control over your mind. How often do emotions dictate your actions? Whether it's anger, frustration, fear, or anxiety, our emotions can easily overwhelm us, clouding our judgment and pulling us away from our goals. In Stoicism, the ability to master one's emotional responses is seen as a critical component of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius believed that while we may not be able to control the events around us, we can always control how we respond to them emotionally. Have you ever been in a situation where your emotions got the best of you, leading you to make a decision you later regretted? Stoicism teaches that emotions are natural and inevitable, but how we handle them determines our character. The goal is not to suppress or deny emotions, but to learn how to manage them with reason and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of stepping back and examining one's emotional state. He would remind himself to observe his feelings, ask why he was feeling a certain way, and then choose a rational response. This process of pausing and reflecting before reacting is central to Stoic practice. By doing so, you create a gap between the stimulus and your response, allowing reason to guide your actions instead of impulsive emotions. How can we apply this in our daily lives? The next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by emotion, whether it's anger, stress, or frustration, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? Is it helping me achieve my goals? By questioning your emotional state, you regain control over your mind and your actions. This practice also involves recognizing the fleeting nature of emotions. Stoicism reminds us that emotions are temporary and they will pass. By not letting them take hold of your actions, you strengthen your ability to remain calm and composed in any situation. Over time, mastering your emotional responses becomes a powerful tool for maintaining self-discipline, as you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. Now that we've explored the power of emotional mastery, we can see how all these Stoic principles come together to help us cultivate self-discipline. Each principle offers practical guidance for living with more intention, focus, and inner peace. As we bring this journey through Stoicism to a close, it's clear that the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers offer timeless wisdom for building self-discipline. Whether it's mastering emotional responses, focusing on what we can control, or aligning our actions with a deeper purpose, these principles provide a roadmap for living a more intentional and fulfilling life. So, what are your thoughts on these principles? Have you found any that resonate deeply with your personal journey? I encourage you to reflect on how you can integrate Stoicism into your daily life. Perhaps you'll begin by practicing voluntary discomfort, or maybe you'll focus on showing up every day, even when it's hard. Whatever step you take, know that each one brings you closer to living with greater discipline and clarity. Remember, self-discipline is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each day offers a new opportunity to practice Stoicism, to reflect, to grow, and to strengthen your will. And as you continue on this path, you'll find that the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation will guide you toward a life of true fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoicism. If you found value in this discussion, I invite you to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. Which principle do you plan to focus on first? Let's build a community of like-minded individuals committed to personal growth and Stoic philosophy. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on Stoicism and how it can transform your life. Until next time, keep living intentionally with wisdom and discipline.